Devil May Cry 3 is a punishing game even on normal difficulty. It gives you all the tools to succeed and then laughs in your face when you try to put the square peg in the round hole. So I went ahead and put round holes in all the enemies. Today, I've decided to answer a question that nobody has had. Can you beat DMC3 with no upgrades, only using the starting pistols? Let's find out. So in this game, you can use swords, fists, nunchucks, and even a guitar scythe. It's all super cool and awesome, but so is just blasting demons with dual handguns. The rules are extremely simple. I can only shoot Ebony and Ivory to deal damage, and I cannot upgrade myself or the guns at all. The first foe to step up and taste my twisted metal was the Hell Vanguard, and he ate lead like it was time for dinner. My main strength in this run was the ability to stay as far away from any living being as possible, which just so happens to be how I live my own life, so I was something of an expert in the field already. For those of you who don't know, there's a safe spot in Cerberus's arena where you can basically just go to town on him with guns. Since that was exactly what I was doing anyway, this spot was perfect for me. As I spam into the eyes of the Cerberus, I feel them reaching for my soul. In other breaking news, don't break me! No. No way. Nuh-uh. Oh no! After introducing the residents of the tower to the concept of gunpowder, I encountered a problem. And that problem's name is Giga Garbage. I have very strong feelings about this boss, mostly because I do challenge runs. In non-restrictive playthroughs, you can pretty handily breeze through this guy without a second thought. But on a lot of these challenges I do, I have to deal with every painstaking moment this guy has to offer. There are a handful of spots you can stay relatively safe from most of his attacks, but eventually he will find a way to shove his balls in your face. The fixed camera doing everything in its power to show you how nice the walls are doesn't help the situation either. Nah, Gigapede, nah. What? It hit me through the geometry. No! I was so confident! Do I like garlic? Hell yeah, garlic is sick. In like the good sense, not like gross or anything. I like garlic. Gigapede's that one guy. Sparta didn't want to make him feel left out because he like joined his demon rebellion or whatever, but he was pretty useless. So he was like, yeah, why don't you can just fly around the kind of outside of the tower here. How's that sound, man? And then Gigapede went, Rawr! What? Where? How? What were they cooking when they made this? I'll tell you. It doesn't matter what they were cooking because they burnt it. They burnt it so much that it's actually indistinguishable. Like, you can't tell what it originally was meant to be. That's how burnt the food that they were cooking with this is. Needless to say, I was kinda losing my mind on these Gigapede attempts. But like any good challenge runner, if I'm bashing my head against a wall, that wall is gonna break first. At the start of the very next mission, I had to fight another boss, but this one was nowhere near as bad. You can fight Jester up to 3 times in a playthrough, but you're only required to do the first fight here. Usually he dodges all your attacks until you tire him out, and the main way you do that is with guns, which is what we were doing anyway, so you can see why he wasn't that bad. Agni and Rudra blocked my path at the end of the mission, and this was a duo fight. I had to face off against 2 bosses at once who also frequently blocked my bullets, but in reality it wasn't as intimidating as it sounds. All you need to do is jump in place when one of them attacks and then shoot while they're vulnerable. They also often run to the other side of the arena for a coordinated attack, which gives ample time to lay into them while they retreat. You'll notice I spread my damage equally between them, and that's so I could skip their powered up phase. And once I did that, I marched my way up the tower to Virgil.
Much like the bosses I had just fought, Brother V could deflect my bullets, so I had to dodge an attack before I could damage him. But this time, I needed to be more active with my evasion because Virgil's attacks had big range and good tracking. This was the most simple version of his fight though, meaning a little patience was all I needed to push through.
Trying to do Agni and Rudra strats jumping against Virgil, what was I thinking? You just walk away from him, bro. Find no damage, Virgil. It's gonna make up for me not first trying him. Are we all in agreement on that? I am. There we go.
The next boss, Leviathan Heart, was scary because there were a ton of enemies in the arena as well. Thankfully, you don't actually need to care about them at all. By taking out the heart that absorbs Devil Trigger, I could essentially force the boss to laser the entire arena, decimating all of its adds in a desperate attempt to hit me. And don't quote me on this part, but I've heard that the green nub of a boss takes twice as much damage from guns while firing its lasers. So if true, that was another dub for E and I. Mission 9 was pure misery. The boss, Nevin, was the entire reason I did this run on normal difficulty. Her bats could be destroyed by Ebony and Ivory, but it took forever. And the time that I got to damage her after all her bats were gone was next to nothing. The successful attempt at this boss took 32 minutes, and my finger was genuinely swollen from mashing the shoot button for that long. And that was the hardest battle in the run for a while. But along the way, I did encounter these shield men who forced me to use my sword. They have a glowing gem on their backs that has to be destroyed, and those crystals deflect all projectiles. Now, Mission 12 puts the player on a clock, with your health constantly draining and enemies assailing you around every corner. Each foe is guaranteed to drop health, but my only source of damage being unupgraded pistols meant that this was going to be a struggle.
This ain't looking good. Okay, it's looking a little better now. I need all the health I can get. And I need to not get hit either. Luckily, these red boys don't have that much health. They don't have as much health as the blowy Joey guys that I killed at the start of this elevator ride. Now these guys do have a lot of health, and that's an issue. Especially when they keep getting in the way. But see, now I think we're in the clear. You don't celebrate Christmas in your country? Well, happy oh no. I didn't mean to do that. Alright guys, kill me. Please kill me before I get back. This was not my intention. Didn't want to get blown, but why I go back to get blown? You know what? When someone wants to blow you that badly, they're gonna get their wish one way or another. OMG, look at my combo, guys. Whoa. Done. Oh no, it's so scary. I'm gonna die. Ah. You're better for farming style XP at Mission 18 fair. Speedrun strats! Psych! Rainstorm! I don't even think that's very good. I think I was just wasting time, quite frankly. But hey, beggars can't be beggars. That's what they say after all. Okay, now it's just me and you. Let's rock! Who's got the faster fingers? It's me. It's me! Oh my god! We both died! This time I got her. Yeah!
The strategy I typically employ for Garion is getting on the carriage's back so he doesn't fire missiles at me, and then spamming melee. But the carriage has this weird property where it kind of shuffles you off with every hit that you deal to it. And since shooting Ebony and Ivory, I'm pretty much stationary constantly, I just slide right off the back of the carriage. So doing this fight how I normally would was not a viable strategy.
Back shots on the horse. Insane. You are relaxed. So there's that. That's good. Relaxed is good. I am not relaxed. My left hand is spamming for my damn life right now. Oh, my brother in Sparta, no. Oh, wait. It's actually fine. I'm not dying today. Nah. Go ahead, slow me down. Go ahead. I refuse to fall. Oh, I almost fell. I know I was like refusing and all that, but like, real talk, I almost fell. Ah, sweet release. You ever notice how these statues that are holding the mirrors are, one, naked? You think they sculpted the junk back there behind those mirrors? It begs the question. Two, they kind of look like Sparta. And by that, I mean, like, they have the horns, right? They're curved differently, kind of, but, like, the resemblance is there, you know, a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I'm a DMC fan, so anything that slightly resembles anything is a DMC reference. Maybe that's on me.
On paper, the second fight against Virgil is harder. He has an entirely new weapon at his disposal, and he enters Devil Trigger, which means he begins healing and all of his attacks get faster. However, I've also fought this version of Virgil a lot because he typically takes a really long time on certain challenge runs. So I was able to finish the fight first try, but I might have had a little help from Virgil himself.
Sir. Virgil. I almost don't want to move. This is hilarious. New game-breaking tech just dropped. I made Virgil freeze. Virgil fell asleep standing up. Virgil paused the game. He forgot he had floating pause menu enabled. In a second, we're gonna get Virgil back shots. Are you ready? Wait. Really? Wait, really? Oh my god! I actually just broke him to the point that he's just... Virgil backshots are crazy! Let's go! That's amazing! I don't know how I did it, but I completely broke his AI. I mean... Another one in the books.
If you're familiar with the enemy called the Fallen, you might know that their wing shields deflect bullets, but anytime they go to attack, they are vulnerable for a very brief period of time. It was slow, but unlike the guys with gems in their backs, these guys could be damaged with guns, so that's how we had to do it. One demon after another fell to my metal magic as I barreled toward one objective after the next. I faced Lady, who was surprisingly resilient to my guns given the fact that she's just a normal human. And then I had a battle against my alternate reality self who was doing a sword-only challenge run. Nearing the end with only 3 missions to go, I learned that the game had a messed up definition of chess and it was really starting to piss me off. On these specific 64 squares, pawns could promote without ever making it across the board, bishops could heal their friends, and rooks were able to summon any other piece on the board save for the queen or king. Naturally, I took the pieces out in order of threat. The queen was first to fall, followed by the spawner rooks, the healing bishops, and finally the useless knights. From there, the king had no choice but to show me his regal ball in a desperate ploy to blind me with generational wealth. But I've seen plenty of balls, and his wasn't very impressive. And then there was Arkham. This backed up toilet of a fight had one of the things I hate most in boss design, a mechanic that essentially stalls your progress. After taking a certain amount of damage or a set period of time passing, he will disappear from the arena and summon these dolphin things. He won't reappear until at most 4 dolphins remain, meaning you have to chew through their HP pool before you get to damage the boss again. Since my DPS sucked, he summoned summoned a lot of these guys, which made this fight a complete slog. My first attempt lasted 27 minutes before I bit the dust at the 11th hour. The only saving grace for this run happened around halfway through the fight when Virgil showed up to help his brother. As we all know, Virgil is a gun, so all of his attacks were legal in this challenge. Realistically though, pressing the shoot button just caused Big V to attack, so striking things was unavoidable. And I wasn't about to say no to free damage. The successful attempt took 30 minutes and all that was left was to turn my guns toward the Alpha and the Omega. This version of Virgil is terrifying. He's extremely challenging, has combos that could easily take me out, and he enters Devil Trigger more often than ever before. Specifically in his third and final phase, he can disappear from the field for big judgment cut attacks and heal at the same time. Because of that, the last bit of his health was insanely tough to chew through. It came down to the wire as he was mere frames from ending me with a judgment cut when my final bullet landed. So, can you beat DMC3 with only the base version of Ebony and Ivory? Yeah, on normal difficulty anyway. There are a handful of reasons higher difficulties would likely be impossible. Namely, Nevin would take infinitely longer, Mission 12's health drain would be too much to handle, and there's a timed section in Mission 19 that simply would not be possible. Either way, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Sayonara.